a meeting in London a few weeks ago with a journalist, and I was really excited. I was like proper buzzing about the meeting because we were going to be talking about cocoa and all the crazy exciting stuff that's been happening. And do you know what? I was talking to my friend Catherine before I went to the meeting, and she said, Meg, just remember, she's a journalist, right? She said, just remember, don't say anything that you wouldn't want to see in print. And I was suddenly like, oh my gosh, that's going to be so hard, because half the time stuff comes out my mouth and I'm like, where did that come from? It's like, so yeah, I went to the meeting and I was thinking, be careful, be careful, be careful with what you say. And oh, it was amazing. I had such a nice time with her, and she was asking all these questions, but before I said anything, I was like, would you want to see that in print? Would you want to see that in print? And it was such a challenge. But do you know what? It meant that I was so careful with what I said. It was like I was thinking everything through really carefully before I spoke. Do you know what? I think Catherine is really onto something with this advice, because can you imagine, like, if before we all spoke we thought, would I want to see this in print? Like, literally, I probably wouldn't say half the things that I say now. I was reading the other day about ships, yeah? So a ship, a big boat, ship, I don't really know the difference, but is driven along by the wind, yeah? But actually, it's the tiny little rudder underneath the boat or the ship that steers it. So even though it's a massive ship, it's something really small that steers it. Does that make sense? Well, the tongue is just like that. It's really small, but it is powerful. It's like sometimes it can be a really sharp weapon and it can destroy people. We've got to be careful with the tongue, okay? Because it can do a lot of damage. I've received loads of questions from you girls on Coco about friendships and fallouts, and my goodness me, we say such hurtful stuff to each other and about each other. You know, that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I think that's rubbish. I think that's absolute rubbish. And I've said it before on Coco, names do hurt. Names go down deep and they can stick. Do you know, I think we need to be so much more careful with what we say to each other, thinking through before we speak. If the things we said were going to be printed for all the world to read, you know, like front page of every newspaper, I think it would change the way that we speak. Because I don't think we'd gossip as much and talk about people behind their backs because they're going to read it. I don't think we'd be as unkind and say such horrible stuff. I think we'd think twice about lying. I think it would really change the way that we speak. So thank you, Catherine, for your challenge. I'm gonna really try and put that into practice in my life day to day. And I want to pass on the challenge to you girls. Think before you speak. Would I want to see this in print?